Welcome in to another stitch tutorial, and we're going to be using sparkly because, you know, I feel like I need some sparkle in my life. So as you know, this is for the floret stitch, or floret. I would say floret because I think floret is more a double R. I have no idea. However you want to pronounce it, this is it. So this is a lovely little stitch that isn't as much of a yarn eater as most. Word of warning, if you are a tight tension person, you might struggle a little bit with this, so just be warned. So get that slip knot started and let's go. So you want multiples of 2, or a good even number, however you want to say it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. And once you reach your desired length, you then need to add a further 3. We have 1, 2 and 3. To start the first row, we are going to count 4 away from the hook. So we're not counting the one that's on the hook because that isn't a stitch yet, that's only a partial. So we're counting the one before the hook. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and in that fourth one we are going to do a double crochet. So that extra 3 that you already made at the start is acting as a double crochet. In the next chain along, you want to make a double crochet again. And the same again in the next chain, and so on to the end of the row. And that is where I will meet up with you when I'm down here. See you in a moment. And welcome back. So we are now at the end of our row, and we are going to chain 1 and turn. Row 2. In the very same stitch, right at the very beginning, just there, we're going to do a slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through and pull through again. In the next stitch, we are going to do a double crochet. Like so. In the next, slip stitch. And then a double crochet into the next, and in the next a slip stitch, etc., etc., until the end of the row, and you should end with a slip stitch. Okay, so keep going and I will meet you at the end. So I'm just doing the final slip stitch now. Oops. And you will notice, not only by look but by feel, that it's different on each side. At the end of this row, we are going to chain 3. Now this will act as a double crochet, just like your chain of 3 did at the very start. And there we have a few little bumps, because one side you're going to have some bumps and one side is going to be flat. So anyway, row 3 is just purely double crochet. Now as this acts as a double crochet, this chain, you don't need to go into that very first, but you do need to go into the second and do your double crochet, and then the next stitch is where you tight crocheters are going to struggle a little bit, because you need to go into the next, which is where we did a slip stitch, and you need to go in and do a double crochet. In the next stitch, double crochet. In the next, another DC. And carry on with double crochets across the entire row. And then I will meet you when we've got past all the bumps. See you in a mo. I'm just finishing off my last double crochet now. And as we are at the end, we are now going to chain 1, because we are now going to be repeating rows 2 and 3. So this is the side with the bumps. You can just about see them. You can definitely feel them. But we're now turning over to the flat side. And here, as we've chained 1, we need to go into that very same stitch for a slip stitch. So pull it all the way through. In the next, you are doing a double crochet. In the next, a slip stitch. In the next, a double crochet, and so on until the end of the row. Now for this one, I will stay with you. So we've done the double, we're going for the slip stitch, going for the double, slip stitch, double, oops. Wish the camera would stay in focus, that would be very, very handy. Slip stitch, double, slip, double, oops. Oh, 1 second. Slip. And you just keep doing that over and over till you get to the end. Double, slip, double, slip, double, slip, oops, sorry, oops, slip, double, and don't forget the corner. Make sure you do a slip in that very last. So that's the flat side. You then need to chain 3, and that's where you repeat row 3, which is always got the texture on it, and you can just about see the texture there. So I'll do this as the last row. So we're ignoring that very first one where this double crochet has come out of. We're going into the next. Another double crochet into the next, into that slip stitch from the previous row. Make sure you use the full stitch and not a partial. Double into a double, double into a slip, and you carry on across the row. See, even though I'm not an overly loose crocheter, I'm fairly loose, and even I struggle getting into the slip stitches, so just be very aware. This stitch makes for great hats and scarves and blankets and anything where you need an almost solid fabric. Almost solid fabric. Obviously it will depend on the wool that you're using as well, but thankfully not a yarn eater. Yay! So there's a bonus. It's a great one for dishcloths and flannels as well, especially if you use like a tinsel yarn for the textured side, and maybe swap out each time when you do the double row like we're doing now to a cotton, and then swap it back when you come to do the double slip with the tinsel. Just an idea. And if you haven't already, down in the description below, just underneath the details of this stitch, is my Etsy shop. If you care to take a gander at the stitch markers and the progress keepers, I would be much obliged. There are a few other little bits on there as well, but for you guys, take a look. Anything that you want made slightly differently, personalised maybe, or maybe you'd fancy something rather in the form of a keyring or earrings or a necklace, etc. All you have to do is ask. So I'm going to end this here and put on a stitch marker, which is one of mine. And there we go. So there's the textured side, and then the other side is flat. So there we are. There we have it. That is your floret stitch. Let me know if you've already given it a go. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Tell me down below, and maybe while you're down there you're willing to give a thumbs up if it was at all helpful, or maybe it's given you an idea, and heck, subscribe, it's free. Hey, you may even want to become a member of the channel, help the channel grow, and also help make the giveaways that little bit bigger. It all helps. And if you can, leave your comment down below, and I will see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.